G'day guys, welcome back. It's been a little while since I put a video up, but Fish Room 3.0 is well and truly underway. This video is just a quick overview of where I left you from last video through to now, and hopefully you enjoy it. It's just going to be a voiceover because I know that I prattle on these videos. It's a real trap for me. I want to tell you everything and I know that I can't. So if you've got any questions or anything along the way, please make a note down below and I'll get to you. I've had a lot of advice from different sources and different people's fish rooms so I can avoid any mistakes or downfalls that they've had in their fish room. But if you've got some advice for me, please also comment. Let me know. I want to get this right and I don't want to have to revisit things as I go. Anyhow, enjoy it and I'll see you on the other side. Thanks for watching. So here we are, another contemplation, dilemma, call it what you will, just while I'm perusing the work and doing what I'm doing. This morning I've been roughing in all the electrical for lighting and getting some more of the blue paper up and starting to consider how the freezer panels are going to go. Yeah, let me flip you around and I'll show you what I'm thinking. Alright, so obviously the shed's on a pitch. It's pitched up to a point at the top, and I've ordered 2.4 metre sheets, which I thought would be obviously ample room for 3 tanks high, and it is. But now I'm thinking to myself, do I accommodate the roof pitch and try to give myself a little bit more height through the middle of the room, or do I just flat roof it, which was originally my plan, and save myself a lot of heartache and work in the meantime? The pitch idea is kind of a little bit appealing to me because I could have extra tanks and extra storage up above the middle rack. Dilemma. Alright, and as I said in the intro, I tended to prattle on a bit, so I'm saving you all the grief. This is where I'm going on about the fact that I can get obviously more height and make the room feel a little bit bigger through pitching the panels up to the roof, and the fact that I can, if I did a flat wall, utilize the external wall as a rest and save myself a whole lot of labor if I was to just put a flat roof in. So spoiler alert, I went with the flat roof because I had every intention of installing insulation up above the roof when I was doing the initial planning for the fish room. Okay, so I've been going for a couple of hours this morning and basically got this cup panel in and my water spigot's now installed, and obviously one of the first power points. This was a tight one because it's right up against the internal of the shed, so it's only 50 millimeters of panel and then straight onto steel virtually, so I had to put an extension piece in around the power point, which obviously everything's going to be tested and checked by my mate who's an A-grade electrician. I have worked with him as a lackey on many a job, so you could be fair to say you can trust my work. However, he'll still have to sign off on everything and connect it to the main power board. Spigot, as I showed, this was one of the hardest parts to get in. I had to drill a larger hole in the back of the sheet and the smaller hole in the front, just in order because these sheets actually slide into each other, and if the hole wasn't big enough at the back, I wouldn't have been able to slide it across and pop it into place. In any case, it's worked out and I'm happy with the result. Had to cut down this corner piece. And there's not much that's holding these in place. I mean, this is a pretty wind-proof environment it's going to be. I've just put a couple of tags, as you can see up the top here, just to hold the panel level while I'm installing the next one, because this piece of C-channel actually comes out to the edge as such, and the next panel holds it in. They sort of lock each other into place. Alright, now the roof. I've decided to go flat roof because I felt it was a waste of energy and resource to try and heat such a large column of air, basically, and the heat would obviously sit higher in the archway. So by having the flat roof, it reduces, I suppose, the square footage of airspace that the split system air conditioner has to work in, the heater, and brings the heat level down in the room, if that makes sense, hopefully. I have been non-stop injuring myself. I squashed a finger in between two panels and the water spigot last night. It was getting dark. The days are so much shorter now that the daylight savings has kicked in, and yeah, I just couldn't see what I was doing. And you know, when you get tired at the end of your day, you tend to do stupid things. I've run sheets through my leg. I've done it all. There's blood on the walls to prove it. Basically, anything I do, if there's not blood, sweat, and tears, it's not a job well done. But anyway, I'm going to continue on. I'd like to get the rest of the panels here in today, as well as covering where that spigot is, and hopefully the roof will be fully enclosed. Dilemma number 74.3 is I am now up against this shed wall. So the original fish room that comes through to obviously here, I cannot now get in behind to fix the sheets to the side of the shed. And with a view, mind you, that wall may actually be an internal wall for what will be fish room 4.0. So it's hard to see, but it's a narrow passage down there. The freezer panels, or the panels, will be here on this side of the wall, and then this side of the wall will actually become the internal wall for this new shed in time. So what's going to happen for me is I'm going to install the freezer panels. They're waterproof anyway, they're colour bonded and sealed on one side, but I'll make sure that I can get in, and I'll run a bead of silicone down the internal side as well to prevent the water running down. But given the roof protrudes over the edge, I shouldn't have any issues with water coming into the shed. And it just gives me motivation, I suppose, to knock this down once this is finished and the fish room's up and running. Just to ensure that it's all sealed and waterproof. But yeah, as I said, that's going to be an internal wall for this shed, which is likely to be fish room 4.0. But there's a whole lot of glass and water got to go in here first. Anywho, can't keep talking to you. Got to get back into it. I'll see you in the next bit. Hey guys, just another milestone reached. The first of the, I suppose, roof panels for the insulation just been installed. Thanks to my beautiful other half for her assistance. I know how hard it was dealing with my instructions. So I'll flip you around and I'll show you. Okay, so today's progress. It's getting a little bit dark in here because I've been filling in the roof, obviously, and I've left the back panel behind me open so that I can see what's going on. There's no power hooked up here yet because I haven't had the go-ahead from old mate, but I'm up to the door here on this side, which is worked out quite well actually. The distance of the panel has come virtually right to the edge, and I'm just working out now how to make my new internal doors. So obviously I'll have double doors, external being the tin, and then an internal door made from the freezer panel. And much is the same on the other side, so I've worked out my distance there. Going to come to the end of that door, end of that wall, sorry. So it'll be a full panel. The original fish room door was there. However, I'm going to create my door on the end of this panel. Anyway, as I was saying, starting to fit off some power points. The cables that you might be able to see hanging from the roof, just to keep the sag out of the roof sheet. And thanks to Gil's fish room for the idea. It wasn't something that I'd contemplated, given the roof panels are pretty good at the span. But there it is, it's up. Now it'll be a time for laying some rock wool insulation across the top that I've got anyway from the original room that was demolished. So I'll lay some of that rock wool style insulation on the top. And as I go, I'll be installing the cables. So what I need to do is, as there's two cables coming down from the roof, I'll find that center point here in the middle of the panel, drill 2 holes, feed the bolts through, insert my L-shaped brackets that I'm going to use in this section, and the true meaning of those will come to fruition as the fish room continues. But it was just a little bit of a thought that I had after watching Gil do his room. Yeah, as you can see here in the corner, I haven't yet, nothing's bolted down, or I haven't even removed the plastic from it, but there is a little bit of a gap up here in the top. It's not sitting perfectly flush. Whether the panel's got a twist in it, I doubt it. It could just be the levels of the floor that are carried through. But irrespectively, I'm going to end up running a 90-degree or a rounded PVC piece, which will be siliconed in anyway, and that will take care of any unsightly gaps that are around the roof line. The walls are great, they've come up really nicely. As you can see over here, the second water spigot's in for what will be my sink area. But yeah, not far to go now, and this room will be closed. I'm just going to have to consider the time it's going to take to build the doors, because I need to get them right before I seal off the end of this. I'm happy to use, lighting just on a lead for the moment to illuminate the work area. But exciting times. First roof sheet up. Tomorrow is a new day and new muscles, and I'll hopefully power through and get the rest of them up. I'm trying to do my best to cut around posts and have quite a lot of overhang, so the roof sheet actually goes all the way to that external wall. So I don't have any, I suppose, critters coming up or critters going down inside the walls. That's the intent. And it'll also help with the insulation inside that wall, stop a little bit of air movement. I'll have to cut out my roof sheets around the roof and post pylons there, but that's okay. I'll work that out. The hardest part will be sliding them up in there and considering the gap. So that section there from the post to the next panel might have to be only just on the edge of the beam. But anyway, I'm waffling on. Success it is, and join me on the next one. Shidoo! G'day guys, so just a continuation on the fish room. It's all happening. Second sheet up on the roof, as you can see probably in the background. Been a busy day. It's a lot of considerations needed to be taken place with measurements, double measure, triple measure before you cut. It's one of those things. Even placing the roof sheets up with the cool room, a couple of millimeters either way can make a big difference to how things look in the end. So I'll flip you around and I'll show you what I'm talking about right now. Okay, so here we have it. Second sheet of roofing is up, and I'm just about to drill holes for the first pair of downlights, which will be in the second sheet, and approximately 1.50 meters away from the back wall. You can see here, and I'm not hiding any errors or anything, there's like about maybe a 2 mil gap at this end, and maybe a 3 mil gap here on this one here at the end. That can only be due to a concrete fall. It was measuring level or a discrepancy in the sheet, actually. So it could be either. But as a result, it's not a big issue. The sheet, this back sheet I've cut, sorry, the back roof sheet, if I could call it that, I've cut. So it overhangs the back sheets there by 100 millimeters, and I'll literally just fill that hole there with a little bit of white silicone, and I'm going to put a 90-degree quad right across this back corner to block that in, and the same here in this back corner. This gap here actually will close up when I pull on this plastic sheet to pull the wall a little bit in. It's just obviously there's probably, with all the pushing and prodding with the sheets, it's just moved a fraction. So once I put the sealer adhesive in there, it'll all close up anyway. But from then on out, I know that it's very level and the sheets are sitting very, very well. In any case, thanks to Gil's Fish Room, I'm not sure if you can make these out, but Gil used a round washer and a nice nut on his. But given I'm intending to run a double rack right down the centre of my fish room, I figured I needed somewhere anyway to suspend my air and water lines. Ipso facto, I've gone with these, the right angle brackets. Just happen to have centre holes in them, and yeah, that's what's going to suspend my air and water. So doesn't seem like a lot, but it takes a lot of time. The amount of times I've been up and down a ladder today is phenomenal. Stop saying Yeah, so there you have it. It's coming along really well. Here's a point in that I could raise probably. The centre peak of this shed, given it was second hand, the roof capping, the 75mm roof hats that are up there, the steel, are clearly off centre for the shed, because the cable that I'm using to suspend and take any sag out is actually going down on an angle, and I've measured perfectly to the centre of the shed and those points. So it's not much, but it's enough to make the cables go a bit skew-if. But irrespective, I'm very happy. It's a nothing issue. Time for some downlights. Well, hello again, guys. It's getting to the pointy end of the stick now, and the part that I've been most concerned with is in respect of the doors. I think I'm overthinking it, and I'm just going to put the panels in place, mark out where I want the doors to be, cut the panels, and then use the removed material to create a door. Just with this area here, pardon the mess, you can see down the bottom where the aluminium strip ends and where the sheet ends. I'm just trying to determine where the aluminium ends is where my door is going to be. Probably talked about it in the past, it's probably very loud. It's not too dissimilar a distance to where the door itself is in the old room, which would probably aid in my transition from room to room. But anyway, everything's coming together, except I had issues with the hole saw. I thought the hole saw that I had, which was for timber, and I was willing to sacrifice it, would actually cut through the aluminium sheet, but it doesn't, and I'm going to have to fork out, I think they're about $100 Australian to get a proper hole saw at about 95mm, which is for the down lights, which is going to be I suppose the ambient lighting or the work lights that I'll be using in the fish room. As I climb the ladder, I'll just give you a shot down through the roof. Obviously I haven't installed the ridge capping on the back corners, but all the insulation wool that was inside my old fish room is being utilised up on the roof for our hot Australian summers. I'll try to reduce as much of that as I can. I haven't got much left, but anything is better than nothing, and it's just going to aid in the overall coolness and warmth of the shed. So yeah, it's come along quite quickly, guys, and hopefully I can give you a better update. My next project is to fill in this back wall. I think I'm going to put all the sheets in there, do a tally of what I've got left as far as materials, make up an internal door frame for this door, and this door on this side will be the last project. Stick with me, guys. I appreciate your time. Okay, so hopefully you enjoyed that little bit of, I suppose, a walkthrough of the build to the point that it is now. If you have any questions of how I've gone about the build or obtain any of the materials, please ask me in a comment down below. I will most definitely get back to you and let you know what, where, how. It's part of the sharing process of our hobby. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Please give me that like and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. It gives me a little bit of encouragement to push on. Other than that, get out to your local fish clubs, enjoy your hobby, love the moment that you have, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for joining me. Ciao.